All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, and I am definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with me this evening as we look to close out the week, looking at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, especially tonight. Take lots and lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So let's do like we always do. Drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that everybody can hear me loud and clear, and we are all set for tonight's session. All right. Appreciate it. So let me close this out. We are going to grind it out tonight. I'm going to go through several pairs, looking at potential setups, the aftermath of some of the setups that we posted in Telegram, as we look to go into tomorrow with non-farm payroll here in the United States and jobs numbers for both the United States and Canada. Let me exit out of here and close out, and let's head right on over to, hold on one second. There we go. Let's head over to the Forex Factory, and we've got December 1st. We had the CPI come through for the Swiss currency, Switzerland, and we can see here that the CPI came through flat, so consumer prices stayed under control, so that's a good thing there. And then we come down to big report today, which is the PCE, the price index month over month. And we know now that that's the Fed's primary inflation measure. And today we can see that it came in, right? So inflation, it came in below forecast. We had a 0.3%. Forecast came in at 0.2%. So things are starting to soften again, a little bit. And that's what Chairman Powell was saying about the slowdown, the slowdown in the rate hikes in regards to, whether it's going to be 50, 75, so they're going to be a little bit less aggressive, probably 50 basis points in December. And you can start to see the lagging effects of some of these numbers coming through. So PCE, right? Core PCE came through below forecast. Unemployment claims, that's a good number, right? 225, the forecast is 234. Okay, so folks still working. Okay, so not really seeing the major effect in regards to jobs quite yet from the rate hikes. But then we've got the PMI manufacturing number that came in at just missed target at 49. So below the 50 targeted projection was 49.7. And that is, one of those, another key data point in regards to the Fed tightening and the lagging effects of the interest rate hikes that we're starting to kind of see creep in. So we can see here that U.S. factory activity shrinks, okay, in the United States for the first time since 2020. Okay, so this is the article relating to the ISM manufacturing PMI report. So the ISM manufacturing PMI declined to 49 in November from 50.2 in October, more than market forecast of 49.8, and pointing to the first contraction in factory activity since May 2020. New orders, supplier deliveries, and backlog of orders contracted faster, and employment shrank. Meanwhile, price pressures begin to ease. All right, so it's starting to creep in a little bit. And then this is the article for the PCE number that came out. So what I'll do is I'll copy that and put that in the chat for those of you who want to read it. Okay, for everybody. There you go. All right, so tomorrow is definitely going to be major for the United States and Canada. We see that Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lowe speaks at 9:40. So we'll see if there's anything that'll impact the Australian currency. And then we've got Orr speaking at 11:30. Okay, so we know that the New Zealand dollar has been mighty strong, and we're hitting some key levels. So it'll be interesting to read the reports coming out of these two speeches tonight. And here you also have ECB President Lagarde speaking. So, pretty packed out Thursday. And then we move into Friday with, again, employment numbers for Canada and United States non-farm payroll. We'll see, right, if that kind of falls in line with what we saw with the ADP private sector jobs report that came out this week. And we'll go from there. We will go from there. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kim. So let me click over, and we saw as a result of the reporting today, right, the dollar finally pushed down and break that level. It broke that level on the DXY. So we're sitting below the support level. So in regards to, right, the fib sequence, we're coming right into that 61.8 zone, starting to get there. Maybe we push down to this weekly support level. Tomorrow's numbers, jobs data, will help us to see exactly what's going to happen there, right? So we've got a little bit of bullish action, right, in the Asian session, but it's been down, right? It came down completely bearish, right, today. Asian session, a little bit of bullish momentum, just a tiny bit, but we'll see. As with the market will probably start to move sideways a little bit just ahead of the non-farm payroll report tomorrow morning. So we'll continue to watch to see how far the dollar declines. If we get a positive jobs data report, we'll see how that affects the DXY and the other dollar crosses. So that's where we are, right? We're in an up retracement zone, right? An up retracement zone, shallow retracement, broke the beat boundary, stalled for a while in that 118, 127 zone, and then finally started to break down, right? So understanding the Fibonacci sequence, it shouldn't surprise us from a technical point of view. All right, any questions on the fundamentals? Okay, so everything that we take a look at tonight as we move to the charts, just always keep in mind the fundamentals. And you've got central bankers speaking tonight, well, tonight here in the United States, and tomorrow you've got the big non-farm payroll report. Okay, so always trade with caution, right, around major fundamental announcements. All right, so let's start hammering through these charts, and we'll start out, and we'll start right at the top. Okay, and we'll take a look at the Aussie CAD. Okay, in that situation. Okay. And we can see, right, that it's just been, we'll come up here to the weekly. We'll take a look at it first, and we can see how it's trying to push those levels at 91.44. It's continuing to push. Okay, Aussie's got some momentum. We know, hey, the Canadian economy is rocking and rolling, right, during these times, but the oil prices, right, the decline in the oil prices is weighing it down. So it's a little bit of everything that's going on here, but we're right up against that 91.44. We're at the 786 level. So it's taken 78.6% of this move, this AB move back, okay, back. And so we'll see, right? Our momentum, we're above 80 slightly. We will see where this wants to peak and maybe give us some sort of correction. And if we move down through the charts and we come to the 4, you can see where price, again, 91.44 weekly level. And we are, right, starting to push up around that 80-20 zone. We don't have a 382 yet. So it'll be interesting to see if we start to get the slowdown in momentum. You can see as we zoom in on the 1, how at this level is starting to push sideways a bit. We've got some 1-hour resistance levels starting to come into play as price is consolidating. So we'll continue to watch out for the Aussie CAD, right? Not quite ready yet for anything. I wouldn't get long here, right? We don't have a discounted price, okay? That happened a long time ago. It's just been running very shallow retracements, right? Very shallow stuff. For this deep pullback here, it's accelerated, okay? So if you're waiting for that sweet spot trade, looking at this 4-hour chart, you didn't get any type of pullbacks, right? So if you didn't catch the buy, that's okay. Now we're at a level where we may see price correct. So you make the decision, right? Do I want to play that counter trend move or wait for some sort of a discount and relief from the Aussie to potentially get back long if that's going to continue to be your directional bias? But we are in a critical area, right? So this is a wait and see on the Aussie CAD. Any questions? right? Okay, no. JC, which time frame? Right here on the on the daily,
4-hour.
on the 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, right? More of that doji look, just indecisive,
Okay.
just indecisive going across there. It's not
Okay.
doing too much of anything. It's kind of flatlining, right? Yep. So you got a whole series of them. So
Okay.
price, somebody's gonna win that battle, right? Either the Bulls or the Bears at this point. So we'll see how it goes. Yep. Good question. So that's it there. Let's go to the Aussie Swiss. We're gonna blaze right through these. If you look at the 4, okay, you see it's kind of ranging, but you can see how it's just, look how it's been moving, right? Just the price action on this pair. How it's just been sideways, winding itself up, and then breaking down. Okay, sideways, winding itself up, breaking down, and now we're right back here again. Sideways is winding itself up, and at some point it'll make a major move, right? But in the meantime, okay, you can come down to your lower time frames, and this one here, right? This is moved sideways, okay, getting close to that D extension, but we're in that 80-20 zone, so it's just gonna have to make a decision. So take this out, okay, and you really need price to kind of just break out. What is it gonna do? We know if it wants to break to the upside, then we know it's gonna head to that 382, or if you use your trend lines and adjust them to the outside of the consolidation, right, until price starts breaking through some highs or stays below the trend line and heads to the D extension, then the game resets, right? So that's one, if you like those breakout type of setups, that's one where you can keep your eye on that one. But that's tightly wound right now. We need the price action to go either way. So we know the extension is hit, we're good for the reset, or right, we're breaking out and we're headed for that B to C move back up to the 382. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss? Nope. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Aussie yen. Okay. Finally starting to get it to break loose a little bit. Okay. So we know, right? We've been just kind of stuck, kind of consolidating, ranging, but you can see for the week we're falling bearish. Okay. Starting to break down a little bit. See how we broke down through these levels? Okay. So we're moving down. Okay. Even coming into the new Asian session, just a continuation down. So, right, if you come to your 4, you can see here how just catching a wave, A, B, here's our C. Okay. So this is going to stay on a decline. Okay. We look now, this is taking off already. So, right, you got your counter moves on your time frames that can either, on the lower time frames, going to give you an opportunity to play those reversals, right, to the counter trend, or your lower time frames give you an opportunity to get high prices and pullbacks and continue short. Okay, continue short. You can see how it's pretty clean straight down through the time frames. A, B, C, right? So here we project what? 1.618 back down to that monthly support. Okay. And if we come to the 15, do I even have it on here? Yeah, we got it. Same type of price action through all the levels, right? So you can see this leg here starting to get a little bit extended. Okay, coming down into this 118, 127 zone. So you may eventually, right? This was probably just going to run, but eventually keep an eye on it. You'll either catch a pullback, a pullback for the counter, or right, a pullback to get that high price to continue short. But we're starting to get some momentum to the downside on the Aussie yen. All right, so just be patient and wait for your ideal setup. Any questions on that? No, we're good. All right, let's keep it moving. Okay, almost through our Aussie pairs as we wrap up the week. Aussie NZD, okay, huge bearish move. Look at that. Look at that reaction off that monthly at 114.92. Coming right back into support. Okay, coming right back into support. Now, here's your 4. Okay, it's a beautiful daily 80-20. Right? Beautiful daily 80-20. Look at that. Okay, now we're down around, getting around this 50-61.8 zone. Okay, may start to lose some momentum. Okay, on that. So it's been a beautiful short. And then look at the breakout. Right. Now, some of you are on the call, right? Remember when we started, encapsulating these tight consolidations and saying, hey, price needs to break out. That's what you got. Right. That's what you got. Look, A, B, C, right up against daily resistance, 50% short. Stalled a little bit. Okay. Stalled, and then look at the breakout. Okay. Broke out to the downside. All right. Good price action, good charts to study. Okay. That's why we follow them here. Right. It's likely not going to get that reversal. All right. We may not get that reversal. That may hit the D extension. That's okay. But look at the breakout from that level. Okay. That we spotted from the 4. Okay. It's a huge collapse in the price. All right. So it's probably going to stay below that 106.91 and head down to the D extension. And that's all good. We just wait on the setup. Nothing doing right now. Any questions on the Aussie NZD? All right. Okay. Take a look at this Aussie dollar. Okay. Especially ahead of non-foreign payroll tomorrow, we can see that it's been pushing bullish.
Hey, Benny, I do have a question about the Aussie New Zealand dollar.
Sure.
So I'm playing the cloud and I have a TK gap. Is that like a
what chart?
Aussie New Zealand on the 1 hour.
You on the 1? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see here what we got going on. You see that? Oh, so you're thinking about that possible reversal back up to that level? Yeah, I would being that it's so close, it's those are the ones that get you caught in between, right? You just start wondering,
right.
like,
So
is it gonna reverse? Yeah, because your higher time frame
level too.
Yeah, you're oversold there.
Yeah.
You're oversold. You do have a TK gap there, right? On the 1 possible trade back up, right? Short term.
Yeah.
That's the way I probably played it, because it's getting so close to this D extension and we're oversold. I mean, overbought here, right? Well, overbought, and so we may get that further push down.
Okay.
Right, we might. So this is one that I probably, even though I see that right there, I probably would wait to instead of trading that gap, maybe wait for the break. Okay. To see if it wants to see if we get the confirmations from the cloud in regards to, are we going to get that TK crossover back to the upside? Right. Once that gap starts to close, am I going to get that bullish cloud? Just does everything align? Okay. To get there, because the momentum has been so strong for such a long time to the dot that we may get that further push, to the downside. So because especially the way it's struggling here at this level, you see how it's starting to, like, if you're just a price action trader and you have none of this on your chart and you trade breakouts, you keep an eye on this. You're keeping an eye on that. To see what's going to happen next, the way it's holding, because that's a daily level that is holding underneath.
Right. Yeah.
And it's struggling now. A breakout trader, right, would probably, depending on what their methodology was in regards to, am I only trading breakouts with the trend, or do I trade the breakouts counter trend? So that all depends. But a breakout to the upside would play right into your gap. Okay. But just with caution, especially all these we cover just with caution ahead of tomorrow's report.
Okay.
But yeah, great question. Great job identifying that. That's definitely starting to stretch out a little bit. But you see how that's starting to move like very, very flat.
Mm-hmm.
And so for one, it's Asian session, but for two, on top of it being an Asian session, a little bit lower liquidity, you got the big reports tomorrow too. So yeah, that's a good way to identify that though. Appreciate you. All right. Aussie dollar. Let's take a look at it. Okay. So you can see like beautiful V-shaped reversal off of that. Look at that, man. 2 bears, 2 bulls, perfect V. Look at that, just pushing up. That's a very nice move. Okay. We know what that relates to here, 80-20. And we pushed, right? So it danced around and we were wondering over the last few days, what is it going to do? Right? When a dollar pushed lower, it's pushing up to that 61.8. Okay. So we've got a big report tomorrow, right? Coming out. That's going to make it move. So we can see right here on the one, how we're just kind of dancing, towing the line a little bit. So what I'm going to tell you on this one is we need a breakout. And we need tomorrow to serve as a catalyst for that to happen. All right. So that's where we are. We know we're sitting at a pretty high price. Let's see how those non-farm numbers come out tomorrow and see how non-farm, it's multiple reports tomorrow that comes out. So the market can whip you around a little bit. So we'll see what happens when the dust settles on the Aussie dollar tomorrow. Any questions? Yeah. All right. We'll take a quick look at Bitcoin. All right. We got all types of shenanigans going on in the crypto world, but just moving sideways, right? From a weekly perspective. Still want to see it push down, right? Start running into these extensions to see what kind of reaction we'll get. All right. We finally got it to break below that support level, that weekly support level that we were keeping an eye on, but now it's just moving sideways, still below trend line. See if we can get it to hit that extension. Give me a nice low price on that. That's what we need, but that's Bitcoin. That's the story. CAD Swissy. Okay. Look at this move, right? Textbook, right? Still moving to the downside. Just gonna let that one ride. Okay. Just gonna let that one ride. Let that one finish out. I should have started at the weekly, but here we go. Look, we broke that level. Okay. So we come right back into the zone here to see if there's any demand in this zone. Okay. This previous zone is 69.03 from a weekly perspective. Here's the 4, right? Textbook, everybody. All right. You try your best to commit these type of setups to memory because it's a pattern driven market. And when you see something like that again, right, it helps give you the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to take a shot at this trade. Deep pullback, okay? 61.8, weekly resistance up against the trend line, boom, right? Straight down. So that's, what was that? November 4th through the 30th into the 1st, 455 pips to the downside. Okay. All right. Pretty good deal, right? Just gonna let it ride. There's the 1 hour look, breaking through the trend lines and continuing down. Okay.
Hi, Benny. Just a quick question on the 4 hour.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, when you see price action in the zone, for example, on a 74.19, do you wait for a trend line break to the downside, or you just enter once you see the price in the zone?
Me, I like because I'm a small trader, right? Like to scale in. So oftentimes I'm just gonna drip a trade in at that level, right? But it's totally okay to run a trend line up in that zone, especially say you might want to. So when it comes up in the zone, right? You don't necessarily have to draw that trend line on a 4 hour and wait. Okay. You might use a different chart for your entry. Okay, so you may say, I'll drop down, right? But you see how that there? Okay, so we circle this level and we'll work our way down through the lower time frame. So you may say, I'll go down to the 15 or the 1, you know, and I'll look, right, for a break and a pullback. Let me find that level, right? So you see here on the 15, you see how this initial move came, but you see how it broke and pulled back up against that 4-hour level?
Yeah.
Right? You may take that, or you might just say, I'll drop down to the lower time frame and I'll go aggressive off of an inner trend line break. Right? So like so. Okay. And if I get that break bearish, then I'll get in. Right? And I'll put my stop up above my high or whatnot. And just play it a little tighter if you want. Okay. And you could play it like that. Okay. And you can use like your 1 hour, your 15, however you eventually work yourself into your game plan that you feel comfortable with. Then this is how, so when we talk about scaling in, like, okay, I'm initially in here. All right. I'm initially in here. And now I can use my fibs on whatever time frame I'd like to say, hey, if I get my desired pullbacks to my zone, then I can add positions in, right? So for example, if you say, if it pulls back to a 61.8, I'll add a position, another 1/4%, 0.5% to the, so as it works its way to its target, ultimate target. But you see, like here, you have to stick to your rules. So impulsive to the downside, there's really no pullback. So you couldn't enter any additional trades there, right? If you were just a straight structured trader, support and resistance, then you probably would say, you know what, every time I get a break and a retest, right, I may be able to add to that position. Okay. So it's just a matter of what your philosophy is. See that? So you didn't get it there, but then you came back and you retested that zone. See how smooth that is?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's all part of your discovery process, how you want to play that. But I never like see a, you know, a position. I used to, right? Like, oh, I'm all in right here. Straight standard. It's game over. You know, I'm about to leave my job. I'm about to drop it all on the house. I don't do that. I don't do that. Right. So, and that would have been nice though. But I don't do it because it's too many times, right? That starts running to the upside. Now, depending on the size of your account, you're about to blow up, right? You're gonna blow up. You're jumping out. That's when you jump out the trade, right? When you over leverage and you jump out that trade, and then you go back a week later, and you're like, man, this thing to drop 400 pips. You know, that'll drive you insane. I know because I've been there. So, yep, good question, man. Good question.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So that's what I mean. Like when you say, you know what, I got a directional bias, it's short, and you say my rule is a 61.8, you could come in and put a sell limit in there. Trade it small. Trade it small. Put your stop above your high. Let it float. All right. All right. Some people are like, I don't want to do that. That's fine. That means that this method is not for you. It's really simple. when you think about it, like, that's okay, right? Nobody's forcing you to do that, right? Or, you know, waiting until a high to form and within the zone to swing high, right? We know that 5 candle combination now, and then shorten it, especially up against weekly resistance. Right? That's totally up to you. But that was like I said, these are ones that you commit to memory so that the more and more you see it, more confident you get at taking a shot on the trade. Right. And here's the beautiful thing about when you're trading and you got your risk management intact. Okay. You might have one trade that you get in where the stop, the way things are playing out, the stop is a bigger pair. It moves a lot more. You know, it's a pound dollar, not a euro GBP. And for that position, you may say, I'm risking 1%. Well, that 1% for that particular trade may only allow you to trade at 3 micros, where, okay, I just found an 80-20 on a Euro GBP pair, and that 1% that I work out allows me to trade at 6 micros. The bottom line is, because you did the math before everybody, think about this now. Whether you trade that larger setup with a wider stop at 3 micros, or you trade the smaller setup with a tighter stop, and you can trade 6 micros. If you lose the trade, either trade, you're out of 1%. Everybody follow me on that, right? Drop me a 2 in the chat if you get what I just said. That's the beauty in it, right? So if I start at a 0.5%, or we'll just keep it round at 1%, I know that, man, if I lose, that means I have to lose 100 of these trades. These trades are my sweet spot in the zones that I like to trade. Now, my sweet spots might not be your sweet spots. You have to keep that in mind, okay, as you develop. But if I lose, I have to lose 100 of these in a row at 1%. You know, and you may say, well, the size of my account, if the stop is so wide, I only can trade at 1 micro. That's fine, or don't take the trade. Or it may be a trade where you say, you know what? I could trade this at 2 micros if I risk 2%, right? That's one trade at 2%. So if you lose the trade, it'd be like losing 2 at 1%, right? It's simple math, everybody. That's why risk management is so powerful, right? That's why I take shots on trades, and it's just like, all right, it is what it is. Over time, it'll play out, right? So when you understand the math on that, it kind of helps you when you're hesitating on a position that's in a zone that you know that you like to trade. It's like the risk is what it is. Okay, so I hope that helps, right? Provide some clarity for folks, because I used to be stuck there for for a very long time, you know, and not taking certain trades because of, I was thinking like, oh, this stop, you know, this stop, I'm going to be risking too much money, 4%. You can still make the math work out. Okay, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So that's the CAD Swissy. All right. So like, yeah, that's a huge stop outside the AB boundary, right? 174 pips. So whatever size the account, if that comes through and it says you only can trade at 2 micros to risk 1%, that's what you're gonna risk, right? That's what you're gonna risk on an initial trade. But as it moves, right, in your direction, right? So maybe I add 2 micros, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Guess what? I got a total 1 mini lot in the game, but it's on house money because I'm in profit. Everybody follow me? Drop me a 3 in the chat. Right? Because think about it, I'm rolling my stop down. I'm not leaving my stop above the C at that point. Above the A, I'm rolling stops down. Right? When I enter this trade, I'm not going in and putting my stop here for this position. Right? Because I'm as the trade moves away from my original entry, right? I'm not getting the optimal entry price anymore. That was way up here when I initially entered. Right? So I'm starting to close down my stops on my positions. Okay, I'm managing that at that point. So now I'm adding, right? I'm scaling in as my money grows. Okay, so it's not necessary to put it all in here. Okay, all right. So CAD yen, right? This is we posted this in the Telegram. It's another beautiful, right, example. But you can see here we're in an up retracement zone. This bad boy is moving to the downside, right? Moving. That's way overextended. That's way 82 there. 786, 86 zone. Right? So we'll see where it decides to settle in at. Settle in somewhere in this zone, hopefully. Maybe it pushes down to that 97.79, not sure. But this was a beautiful example, right? And how we marked this up some time ago. And we said, hey, wait for the breakout. And you can see that this was clean. Look how, right? It's so pattern driven, everybody. Look how it broke out and said, hold on, I got to test to see if this is real. I got to see if this is real. Are we really about to go south? Yep, we're going south. And it's been moving south ever since. Okay, so let's see what happens. See if it comes back, right? It tried to push. Look, it didn't want to go, but look what happened. Bears pushed it right back down. Now let's see, right? Do we get price, right, to come back and retest? These are where you get those lower time frame plays, those counter trends that we play, those 80-20s oftentimes, when you get that, when the price is pulling back to retest the zone and then moving back down. Okay. So if you go here to your one, right, you see what we're talking about. Oops. You can see how look, we broke that 101.43 and we got a new AB boundary. So it's like, hey, when is that check back going to happen? If it happens, right? But we know that's what that AB boundary tells us, okay? Hey, we may be in a position where price wants to reverse. Okay, it's trying. It's pushed below our zone, right? So we get that push below the zone, man. Look for confirmation. Look, it formed a high. Look what the waves did. That's a high of resistance there. Okay. So this is high right here, like this. Okay. Swing high. Boom. We know what that is. We can see that no problem. Okay. Look, when you're training your eyes, look at the consolidation and the breakdown. Okay. Now we're pushing right back up in this zone. So if we push up in this zone and we break out, then we're thinking, you know what? This might give me what I'm looking for. All right. Prior to it hitting that D, the game becomes very simple with these setups. If it stays in this level and pushes down to the D extension, game resets, everybody. Game resets. And we do the same thing over and over again. Here it is on the 15. I mean on the 5. Right? And you can see how I've just been playing this back and forth. Back and forth. Okay, so to clean up a little bit, take this other trend line out from the past positions and drop it straight down. Boom. Just like that. Same type of look on the 5. Look how tight is, look how it's trying to close in, right? Just nick that 382 here. Let's see if we can get that price to reverse. If not, let it finish out. Okay. There's that high again off the 5. See that? Not so scary when you spend the time on a chart so you know what you're looking at. I know you all get this. You got it. Okay. So that's the CAD yen from the top down. That's what we're looking at. Any questions?
No.
All right. Appreciate it. Let's see who wins, right? Let's see who wins at that level. We're at a crossroads, right? We're coming into it. So that's the CAD yen there. Let's take a look at the Swiss yen. See what we've got going on. Okay. I love it when the markets get back moving. Ooh. This 150.51 level. Look at that. My goodness. All right. Pushing bearish there. So let's see what are we doing? All right. Starting to try to break down a little bit. We got some daily levels though. Stochastics in the buy zone. Okay, so it pushed down to the bottom part of the range. And let's see. Let's just zooming in on that level. Just broke it. Let's see what's going on. We've got, right? We've broken our B boundary. It's stalling a little bit. Don't have a 382 yet on the 1. And if we come down here, what do you know? On the 15. On the 15, we have some possible plays here. Okay. Right? So you guys can see, get that out, it's just one hour. Oops. You guys can see how going from the top down, as it's breaking through support levels, right, to the downside, what these 80-20s are, like they're checkbacks, right? The retest, right, that you could take advantage of in a sense, right? So that's the low, that's pretty much even, just trying to maybe a double bottom. So we'll push it like that. And we'll see, right? See how it's trying to hold up here? Okay, that's a level of support. It's trying to hold there. We don't know yet, right? All we can do is put ourselves in a possible position, okay? We're below our zone. Here's the extension. So it's the same game, right? So it's literally the same. That's why we can look at all the pairs. It's the same setups across all the pairs, okay? So you have some people that say they'll just trade one pair, and that's cool. But when we look at it is the market moves in waves, we can identify the same setups across the entire Forex diaspora, any asset class for that matter. Did we have a question? I heard somebody take their phone off mute. Was that an accident? Okay, maybe it was. All right, so we're either going to press down here and test this 143.48, kind of like how we did the pound dollar earlier this week when that initial move to the downside, it just kept pushing right to the downside and hit the D, but as soon as that new AB boundary formed, it just completely reversed and flipped. Right? Sometimes that happens. Right? So this is when we post in a Telegram, we say, hey, use additional confirmations. This is what we're talking about, right? So maybe you use the cloud, or maybe you use a different type of moving average crossover. Okay, so you can see how that's moving below the cloud there still. So maybe that's your confirmation, right? You're looking for it to get above the cloud, right? Or maybe you're looking for like some type of moving average crossover to occur, right? This is starting to bubble, right? It's kind of a gap there. So maybe you say, hey, I get a bullish move. Maybe I'm trading back to the 200. However, your approach is, what we always say in this group is, right? There's no one way to skin a cat. Just be consistent in your approach, right? When we make consistent money, be consistent in your approach, right? Here was the previous 80-20 on the Swiss yen. Look, 118, 127 is on after shallow retracement, 382, 61.8. Look at that push, right? Look at that breakout. See that stalled and it broke out. Okay. Here it is again. Right? Stalled, broke out to the upside. Right. And that's just a B to C swing there. Okay. So it's happened multiple times lately. So we'll see. Okay. All right. Questions on the Swiss yen? All right. Hanging there with me, grind with me, everybody. We're getting there. All right. Take a quick look at the Euro Aussie. Okay. Just looking at those plays, right? This has been pretty good, right? And we're finding these plays in the midst of a range, right? In a range at the bottom of the range, pushing up now. Okay. Joy, thanks for sharing your chart. I appreciate you doing that. Okay, we want to see more of that. Sharing your chart. But look, we're at this level, moving sideways, right? Okay, those dojis, right? Indecision going on. But look, right? Here, okay, on your 15, that's a 15-minute play. Boom, right? Here, boom. Okay, explosive moves. Okay, so when you look at it on your 15-minute out of that zone, right? You get out of that zone, that's all. Look at that. Okay. A lot of pips for that move on a 15-minute. And then here was the 5. Right. So on 2 setups, okay, 2 setups out of that zone back to that 382 was 85. And then this one just went bananas. Right. This one just went bananas, right? 382, 92, 127, 160 or so. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's go to the 1. All right. That's the 1. See that there, right? So even if you took it off this high in this range, right, that's a B to C move. That's what you're seeing. See off that daily support, boom. Okay, because look, think about it, ranging, right? We can run our fib, and we could run a fib on that, right? Sometimes you just zoom in and focus on the range, right? So here's your one. Okay, see how it's popping off that daily level, and it's Joy. She put that cloud on there. We got that break. So if the euro stays bullish and we start to see drop off in that Aussie, like we're seeing a little bit, then you're looking, look, from a fib perspective, from a longer term swing, 1, 2, 3 touches at that 152.58, 50% projected the extension at 157.73, right? So there's more upside potential, or it's just going to get caught in the range, right? This has been a sloppy mess, right? But if this plays out, the sequence plays out, and we keep a bullish euro, that'll go to that D extension, right? So from a swing perspective, there's more upside potential, okay? So your smaller setups off the lower time frame that could potentially build because of your top-down analysis to the higher time frame. Questions on that, JC?
Yeah. Did you have a 1 hour bear play on it too, or just this was?
No, I just had this one, right? Because that was an 80. I didn't play that. You know, did you play that bear play to the downside?
No, I just put that one in the chat where I had a bull position.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I was just,
I
I know,
got you.
I thought I saw you do a bear play, but I think that was on the 15 minute.
Might have been.
Okay.
Might have been. I've been playing it back and forth. There's been so many setups in between this consolidation.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe me or Ryan. Me or Ryan put
I'm
it in
saying
there
just now
at some
you
point.
show a fit. I think it's
I get what you're saying.
like deep retracement.
Yeah,
situation.
right here off this leg.
Okay.
Yep. That's just me playing the time frames, playing those 80-20 swings in the range. Yep.
Okay.
So that's me coming in. Like when I'm playing this game, I'm looking for that impulse leg, right? So I'll come in and drag my fibs. I'll run my fibs, right? You guys a lot of times don't see the mess, right? And I'll run until I get my most active fib. You see how I took that out to the downside?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So you see how I come into these moves, right? It's just playing the game on a particular time frame. And you can do this on any time frame.
Okay.
It just depends on how slow or how fast you want to move. I get where you're at now. Yep. So that's how I came to that. So it's the same kind of concept, right? So playing into that longer move that we saw in the one, because we know the
Yeah, that's
euro's
what I
been
was trying to
bullish.
play, the 1 hour.
Yeah. So this run eventually runs into your 1 hour.
Okay.
Why? Because if your 1 hour, you're bullish with that fib to the upside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. If we always say price has no choice to go your way, right? As long as it doesn't take out the A, it's going to go your way. Well, if that 1 hour bullish fib is correct, right? Higher time frames controlling the lower time frames, then this is going to go TP1, TP2, TP3, take out my A, and then I'm going to be running the fibs the other way anyway.
Okay.
See? And now I'm following the line with the overall move on the higher time frames. Now we're starting to get fib alignment, but we needed to trend more, right? We needed to trend more. We needed to get out of this mess,
Okay.
right? And start taking out these highs and start trending more. And then that way, now all of my fibs are aligned to the upside throughout my time frames. Yep.
I also thought I saw a bearish engulfing on the 1 hour.
On the one, let me see.
Yeah, at a 4 hour resistance, but I could be wrong.
Right here, probably.
Let me see.
Probably earlier.
Let me see. I think it's the last swing. So that last swing before, or Yeah, down at the bottom.
right here.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so that's more of a bullish,
Oh,
right?
that's what I mean. Yeah, bullish
Yeah,
engulfing.
bullish. Yep. Great way to identify that.
Okay.
You know, there's so many ways you can play this game, like impulse leg. Hey, I'm bullish. So if you were just playing this with price action, right? You didn't have a fib on here. Look at your levels,
Yeah.
right?
So
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
if you map that out, and you're like, man, if it comes back down to this level, right? I'm dropping trend lines, and if it breaks it, I'm gone, right?
Mm.
I'm taking that back up to the upside, and this might just be a move back up to resistance, and you're done. So it just depends on
Yeah.
what type
Okay.
of trader you are. So if you get a check back to this level, okay, you get a check back to this level, and that level holds on a test at 154.20, then maybe you're saying, you know what, if you want to enter the trade that way long, I'm entering long.
Okay.
Okay. And you might say my upside target is back to 4-hour 155.52. Right. And I'm plugging my stop, somewhere below the level. Okay. Like that. And now my move, right? I get a swing low at that area, boom, break that 1, 2, 3 move we look at. Then I'm back up, right? It's 100 pips.
Okay.
Yep. Because we've broken back up through this level, is doing the dance all over the place. But if it holds here, like see how it failed here? It failed and went back. But if it comes down here now and it holds, then you might have some upside momentum on that. Okay. All right. So that's how you can kind of play within all of that mess. Right. Just take it back to the nuts and bolts, the fundamentals of support and resistance. Okay. Great questions. Good work. Good work. All right. Let's take a look at this Euro CAD. Right. Look at the swing. We know this right now. We know that pattern. Okay. We know it in our sleep. This thing is moving. Okay. Everything's moving against the CAD right now. That's probably going to take that out potentially. Right. It may take that out depending on the numbers tomorrow. Okay. At least it may cause a correction if it's super positive for the CAD. Okay. So we're moving up in this zone. Look at that, up A, B, C, D. This is where I got beat on that one. I tried to short with my stop above the high. I got beat. Thought it might have been ready, but it wasn't. Kept going. Is what it is. So now, right, we come here. This is the question, right? We're coming into this 141.61. It's a daily level. Doesn't have enough momentum to push through. Okay. Here was another breakout right back behind here earlier. See how it broke out from where it was ranging? Boom. It's a breakout. But now we're right here in this zone, 118, 127 zone. What's going to happen? Let's see if we can get a catalyst tomorrow. Okay. If it breaks, we probably look to retest and continue to the D extension. If it forms a high and it holds, then we may be coming back down. All right. I think that's what, 8:30 tomorrow. So we shall see. Here's the one. All right. And it's just been, we drew this trend line a while ago, and it just hasn't broken the trend line. Just hasn't done it. Okay. Drawing your trend lines and doing it properly is important. Can really help you out. Okay. Keep you out of some bad situations from time to time. And this is what we're looking at. Okay. So all roads lead to that report tomorrow. And it's this resistance level, because you're in an 80-20 zone on your 5-minute as well. All right. So let's wait and see. I'm not so apt to jump in on that because of what's going on tomorrow, but we'll see how it plays out. Any questions? All right. Okay. We got even like on your pairs like the Euro GBP, right? And we try our best, but we can't get all of them in the Telegram sometimes because we're super busy. But when you even go down to something that's right choppy, is right back at this level again, and it's hovering. When you go down to your lower time frames, right? So you can see this here from the 4. But if you go down to like your 5-minute, okay, you can see how right? You call it a play, right, off the ending trend line. So even something like, now I didn't take this, but I had it drawn up, but even something like the euro, right, GBP, right, your lower time frames. Look at what it's doing, right? How it's breaking. Look how it can see how the price is. It's unbelievable, right? Look how it broke this level. It didn't quite get a good retest. And look how it came right back down to that weekly level, 85.73. Boom, right? And it's moving, and it's moving up. Price action is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. So just wanted to show you guys that real quick on the Euro GBP. Euro JPY. Okay. We are, look at that. Look at that swing high and that reversal, everybody. Right? Bearish for the week. Okay. Against the yen. Okay. So I hope you guys picked that theme up, right? Against these yen crosses. Look, turning over. Okay. Turning over. So we're in an up retracement zone. Stochastic is back in the buy zone. All right. So this is another that we had drawn out a while ago, right? Not as clean as some of the other ones, but you can see how this area was tight. We put the rectangle around it and we got a breakdown. Okay. And it broke out. Okay. That one was a lot more choppier. Look at this swing. Right. You see what I mean? We just saw that, right? We just saw that on other pairs. Boom. There's the swing to the downside. Okay. There's the breakout, right? There's where it was ranging in between the two levels. And then there's the breakout, okay, on your one with the fib. So you can see here, even this setup, AB boundary, shallow retracement, break of the B boundary, 118, 127 zone, boom, right back up to that 382. Right? Stop at the D, gave it room. That's the Euro JPY. All right. So we'll see what it wants to do from there. Continue its downward move and hit some extensions, maybe. Okay. But with this method, you made your money. I'm out. All right. I'm out. Good to go on that. Euro, right? And so again, you measure, right, from the zone, from your 127 to your D extension. What's that? 48 pips or so. But look, we're 90 pips, right? We're 90 pips just to the 382. Okay. So let's put you in the positive. That's a positive. So that's the Euro JPY. Check out this Euro NZD. Okay. All right. Look at the price action, right? Look at that. The power of marking your charts up. Okay. So if you're trading those longer term swings, look at that. Right? Came up just shot us on. Look, this has been a forever move, but look, it's finally breaking down to the downside, right? You can catch that leg. Right? We talked about this one last night. Like, right, look. Okay. We see it again. Boom. Different pair. Same price action pattern. Right? So look, there was that ABCD. And then you can see how, look, we've got it coming into the one. We broke. It's doing a dance a little bit. See it? But you say, hey, you know what? If it comes to my zone, if I'm watching it on the one, I'll be looking for that opportunity, right? We come here, look, already happened on the 5, smaller wave. AB boundary, right? Shallow retracement, break, 118, 127 zone. Boom. Right? 127, D extension, 37, 38 pips, 382, 73 pips. The Euro NZD, all right? Euro USD. All right. I just been going. Folks jumped on. Sorry about that. Didn't have your microphone. Open. So let's look at the Euro USD. Okay. And we can see how, look at that. Just let the market do what it's doing. Look, break, retest, break, retest, push down, came back up, we're breaking through, we're moving up, okay? We're retracing, all right? We're retracing, everybody. Coming into some high levels ahead of tomorrow, right? So we broke in 104, finally broke through that level, got to close too, right? Coming into the new day bearish, probably to retest that 104 ahead of tomorrow. Okay, ahead of tomorrow. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. This 106 level, right? We'll see if it stays below that, if it pushes up to that level with non-farm. All right, so kind of a, just gonna wait on it. Just gonna wait on it. See these lower time frames. Here's that D extension at 106, right? Just shy of that 78.6. Projection 1.618. So it'll be interesting to see what happens overnight, right? Look, price action. If I had no fibs on here, 1 hour play, look, bang, bang, pass resistance. It's already tested it once. Do we come back down and retest this before continuing long to the D extension, right? Those are just the short plays, right? In between your larger swings. Okay, but that's a beautiful ABCD move. It's been sloppy, but you can see, right, no matter what the currency pair, it's going to move in ways. All of the fundamental things that are going on around the world, I find it amazing that it's still, everything still fits within that framework of that ABCD wave over and over and over again. All right, so that's the Euro USD. Any questions? All right, so I'm going to cover a few more, and then we will wrap things up for this Thursday. I wanted to look at this pound Aussie, okay, on this overall swing, right? That's been going on with it, and it's been moving all over the place, right? You can see from the weekly, right? Look how it formed that low and settled, and it's pushing right back up to retest that zone. So, but when you look at it and you move down to your lower time frames, look at this move, right? See how all of this mess is still within the AB boundary in the fifth sequence, the double bottom, and it's been pushing up. Look at the huge correction, right? But it's still trying to make its way, right, to that respective extension right there. Okay, so out of that zone at the double bottom, if we get to that zone up here, right, over 800 pips, okay, it's a big mover, right? November 14th, somewhere around there, off that double bottom, it's a big move, right, to the upside. So it'll be interesting to see if we can continue to break through these levels and make that push, right? So that's the pound Aussie, the pound CAD, right? Whew, especially ahead of tomorrow. Can't let this one pass us up. Can't let us pass this up. So if we look at this, right, we know it's been on the move, 165.02 next level, right? Look at that check back, boom, moving straight up, all right? But look how we start to work our way down. On the daily time frame, that 165.02 level represents a D extension that just got hit. You guys see how the fib is no longer highlighted. Very bullish, hardly any retracement at all. It took back 23% and it's just been moving ever since. It even came back to retest to see if this was real. That support, look at that, boom. Okay, now we move down to the 4. All right, look where we are. Daily D extension, weekly resistance level, 118, 127 zone, stochastic on the 4, right? Overbought. Got an overbought stochastic that's flat on the daily. Are we starting to lose some momentum to the upside? Don't know. We'll see. 118, 127 zone on the 1. All right. This stochastic is in the buy zone, right? That'll cycle 1 or 2 times. And then that's where we are, right? That's where we are. Look at the, what do we have here on the 5? right? Same kind of thing happening. All right, so you got a lot of alignment. JC, what's up?
Hey, on that 1 hour, I saw that you had an 80-20 set up, and then that is similar to the TK gap on the cloud, right?
Let me see what we got. Probably. I think so. Typically, when you get overextended, right, we start to get it, but let me see how that momentum, how it's tracking. It's moving flat right now. Right? It's moving flat because it's the Asian session. But we got it. That mouth is starting to open up.
Go ahead. What you say?
Yeah, I'm saying it's starting to open up. Typically, when you get that overextension to that 118, 127, you start to get that gap.
So you're just waiting for a break of that like consolidation to figure out if it's gonna drop.
Yeah, I'm mainly sitting on this right now because of non-farm and employment numbers for Canada tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. We're starting to build out that flag. That could be a bullish flag that breaks up and pushes up through there.
Okay.
Right? See the flag pole when we're starting to wave a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
So, it's just, but this happens in critical zones. So the reason why I'm off of it right now, right? Even though, look, you are spot on, right? The TK gap that we talk about with the extensions. Okay, so it's overextended, and we know it's like a magnet. It likes to gravitate, right? Find some equilibrium. So, but ahead of tomorrow, I just know, like, fundamentally, like, I don't necessarily want to mess with that yet.
Okay.
Necessarily want to mess with it yet. And it's one of those setups where, it may end up dropping and I miss, but it's all good, right? Another trade just around the corner. But you can see here, look, past resistance becoming future support. You see how it's coming in with that key, Justin?
Yeah, I see that sometimes too. And I thought about that, like, dang, those lines match up with support and resistance too.
Yeah, because it acts as that. It acts as that, right? So this is one of those ones where you can get a bounce, right? So yeah, there's a play there. There is, right? Potentially, right? Under normal circumstances, you think, like, you know what? It's probably gonna try to work its way back. But if that may hold, right? And then it's like bang. See? Yeah, so we'll see how that comes out. Good stuff. You're on it with the cloud. That's awesome.
So those lines act as support and resistance and trend lines too. So like,
yep. So we always say, like, it's almost when you have when you're using your averages, so to speak, right? Even though these are calculated different than your simple and your exponential moving averages on the cloud, they can act as that, right? So we know how trend lines are more rigid, right?
Yeah.
These are tighter. You see how they move with price, right? Because it's a 9 period, it's hugging price a little bit more. So we always like to say it can be looked at as like a trend line with more elasticity to it, right? As opposed to that rigid trend line. Right, so it's kind of hugging price, but when these like to separate, right, they like to work their way back to each other at some point, and they're lagging, right? So typically price will move, and then the 9 will turn over, not before. You know what I mean? Because indicators are lagging, but you're doing the work. You've seen how it all comes together. So we still got a bullish cloud up ahead. Right, and oftentimes that's what you see when you get that gap. You don't have that change typically yet, but a lot of times that's tradable. It can act as one. Here, this is just sideways, right? So here's a support level here, right? We know that's a support. So if it starts to break down, right? If you're short playing and it's like, oh man, if I get a break in the close below that support level, then we may be ready to head down and put my stop up above one of these highs, right? You got it. You got it. Good job. Good job. I want to look at this pound Swissy. And right, pushing, right? The level there. Look where we are here. Okay. Just shot at 382. bouncing around, stochastics in the sell zone. Okay, see what we got. Just doing the dance. Where I want to, like, oh, this 5 minute. That's what I wanted, right? Moving more sideways now. But, right, it's a beautiful 80-20 swing. TP1, TP2. But, right, I'm thinking, to slow down a lot now, move sideways, but I'm thinking more upside, right? So a move potentially based on this correction now back to your 382, right? Like so. I mean, back to your 161.8. 61.8 pull back if we can get that momentum to start again and move back upside. Right? So if it comes here, all right, 33, 62, something like that. If that upward momentum, right, wants to continue. But it's deep in the zone. That's why I had to identify it here. And then, oh, everybody, did anybody catch this GJ? We talked about it last night. I don't know what I was doing, but we know what's going on, right? We see how it's pushing bearish. Okay, we talked about that on the longer swing. But man, oh man, right? We talked about this. Look at that play, everybody. Look at that swing. All right. Just talking about this last night, drawing up different scenarios on how you can play it. Stop below, right? Here at the 161.8. Look at the reversal there. Inner, outer trend line. That's all three TVs. Took out the A. Took out the A. So, right, we measure our zone. Look, okay. 51 pips, 94, 129, 184. Couldn't take a break from the meetings. I don't know what I don't know. I had it in my head to play the trend line break, and I got away from it, I guess. But man, that was nice. Right? And then you see how it worked its way back down. So when you look at this flow and everything, you see how it pushed up, and you know how the overall trend on the higher time frame has been moving to the downside. Now you're back in that type of alignment, see, like that. Now this is pushing pretty deep. I don't know if it wants to get to that support and that D extension, but just like that, you got a potential swing. You got a potential swing. See, now you just adjust. Okay. Show you guys the game now. And we all know if we don't get it, it goes to the D. Okay. Now, if you're trading off the lower time frames and you look for high price to get short, it's simple. It needs to go in this direction anyway to give you a new high price. Same stuff over and over again. Same stuff. Same thing. Same thing, everybody. Take a look at the pound dollar since we're dealing with it tomorrow. Your alarm went off. I didn't even have an alarm. I just missed it. That's a shame. That's a shame. Let's take a look at the this pound dollar ahead of tomorrow. Nice bullish push. Right. Key level. Back at a key level. Right. Pushed higher. Broke out. Okay. 122.78. Right. See what happens tomorrow, everybody. See what happens. Hands off. Look at that bounce at the 236. Hands off. That's a nice bullish candle there. I pushed up. Not my level though. But yeah, you can see how it's pushed up beyond that 118, 127 zone. Got a 1 hour stochastic back in the buy zone. It's going to be interesting. If it hits that D extension, wouldn't be surprised if we get a decent correction on the next fib that sets up on that. All right. So that's where we are. This is just hovering, right? Just moving sideways. moving sideways. If it does decide to push up to that D extension, it's going to fly up out of that zone there. Right, moving sideways. So that's where we are on the pound dollar. I'm going to switch over and take a look at this NZD USD, the UCAD, and the dollar Swiss. And I'm going to get off of here for the night. All right. Let's see. NZD USD. Okay. And we know it. See? Look at that. Look at that push. Strong, right? Still, we marked this up a long time ago. Look at that pushing up in that zone. Right? No breaks yet. No breaks yet. Now, right? Ooh, that might be the target. We missed those job numbers tomorrow. Come in below forecast. We're probably going to push right up there. So that's 64 level. Okay. All right. That's the 1 hour. I don't even think I have a fib drawn on that. Let me see. Off the low. Ooh, look at that. Headed right to that level. I wonder if we get there before the report tomorrow. And this is where we are. Right? This is where we are. Right? Pushed off that level. And now it's moving sideways. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to leave it alone though, because of the reports. But that's the NZD USD. And it did. It did move today. Definitely coming off the heels of everything with Powell's speech, and it moved. And those PCE numbers in the ISM manufacturing report, right? Coming in showing we got some tightening and signs that inflation is cooling a little bit. Right. So we definitely saw it move. We saw it push lower for sure. So let's take a look at this UCAD. And okay, kind of just doing the thing, hovering. Look at that. Right. Not doing too much because of, look, news pushed the dollar further down, created a little bit of a sell-off, and we've got the oil issue with Canada. Right. So tomorrow, see which way it's going to rock. We've got employment numbers for both Canada and the United States. And then this is the 5-minute here, right? This is one that's been taking forever, moving sideways. Moving sideways. So I'm going to hold it until the morning to see what we get, right? To see what we get out of it. But it's been grinding, right? So off of, definitely didn't move like the Euro Aussie. So at a high point, it was, don't look like much. That was 56 pips. And now we're, was that 27 off that zone? So you actually got decent movement, right? But we still got a way to go to that 382. And that might all get blown up tomorrow, depending. We might just continue to push sideways. So that's the UCAD. And then the dollar Swiss is still bouncing around. Came right back down to that support. At least the last time I checked. We'll see what it's doing here now. Yeah. Look at it stuck in that level there. Okay. So we'll see what happens. It's just moving flat at support. Okay. If you come down here, you can see where it's trying. Did I not put it on here? I think I might have just, yeah, I think I just played that. So it wasn't a fib alignment play. It was just me looking at support and watching that. But what I want to see is, can we get back above that 93.87, break that outer trend line, right? So I didn't play it off of this level here. Headed tomorrow, just kind of sitting and waiting to see what's going to happen, right? If we get an explosive move up because of the fundamentals tomorrow, we know at some point it corrects, right? Takes back a percentage of what it gained to the upside, and then it pulls back. So I can wait on that. Or it's just going to push down and break through support, and we look to play it that way. Waiting on the UCAT to push up. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. See how it goes. Listen, I know we covered a lot, but I wanted to get the repetition in for everybody as we close out the week. So I hope everybody is cool with that. So we can see that, hey, these patterns occur frequently in the market. Give you guys an idea of exactly what to look for to help you build that confidence to take those trades. Anything, any other questions? You're welcome. You're welcome, Jerry. Any other questions before we wrap things up? No?
Oh,
Thanks, Kim. Appreciate the feedback. Appreciate you being here. All right. I know I saw Ryan. You available? I know you run around busy.
Benny, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Doing all right?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. You hanging in there? I know you're tired. Been running all day.
Yeah, man. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, but everything's well.
Everything's well.
Great session, man.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Oh, well, tomorrow, everybody. Hey, non-farm payroll employment data for Canada as well. Let's sit back, watch the price action, and then plan our moves accordingly. With that being said, wrapping things up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging in for a session that ran over. I appreciate it. Hope you learned something. And we will see you all on Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Have a good evening, everybody.
thank you.
You're welcome.